the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Ejebo, eja, enya ababidu na meneo kasa idie Ghana abatu nyina abano ewieye na ebano ewieye asa no a ye boaboa ballot boxes ni nyina ano ne de akwa akopie mu ewo electoral commission headquarters na one so etimi age na wakan na afi one at the final results no ababe todwa na traditionally senior de bia ya no se abatoɔ no results nyina ekokopie mu ewo ho a ade se NPP amanyukuo no achitaafo no kokobopie mu ho na NDC amanyukuo no so achitaafo akwakogo apie mu ewo ho na initially na NDC amanyukuo no Jubilation se John Dramani Mahama na awini na abusuafo ba bia ekeka kono eye ede ayehu ede ama NDC amanyukuo no me no ka se ede se kokopie mu ewo electoral commission headquarters oguso kan yaba no nenso de wa NPP amanyukuo no esibi jubilate because of one say the watinti abusuafo enye asemkoto na yenko na yenko video no abra NPP amanyukuo no enya jia yenko na yenko video no
for Mr. Fa mobile phone no na sa oba be ma pia frifie anwumre ya ka kire se be ma brafie si ya ka kire ne se won ko gina ho na ye wi aba mu enye nokre fa mobile phone na fra wo ba na awo ya so ma wo ba jejentwie bi sabita fra che eye ni yodom na bibi to no a wa ha wo dache Ubesha akura free na nkola bremu a no abeduru be 18 years 19 years 2023 na wahwere ne nkwa Adea okodi ya urukasem wo ye kenkan abamu eye wufun ene sebe nkwase ewuo enti misramo anwumre ya afa na abo senkura ekobo nomi dumienu fra wo ba se ya to ba gu ba bi a frɛ no ma papa frɛ no ento ba asawra frɛ no esanse NDC for omo de said the omo pom we no say ayi kan asem bi miracle saboaje oso omo de ka omo nko nanka emmo begbegu na abato no intellectual exercise abato intellectual exercise enye se bi tibon koso bia na ye
because miracle say omo de intelligence
na ye adwuma enti yemfa hie se na wawini unim say before me be ema asem no kokot my ho nsensem bebre so kaya omuko intimidate ensida ntina maka no me say yes aboa bi nko aboa bi anum a eno nkire say aboa bi mfa aboa bi anum enya agoprama so kapo enti so far no metimi aka say so good once again we MPP ni a wokoto abama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ennedeya ene wo parliamentary candidate ama wani nye wa aba no emfaso aba so na results eba no enije wom osegbo wom nti wochina nyame ya adoma obi a make sure so obehye fitaa wo ya MPP ni a wo atade fitaa china nyame ya adoma na ade achi ko no nsia hye fitaa lock yo china so kra sa ayekwasi ada
china ya Sunday
nyankopon so na nwanwade ye fe wa hye ni nyina pepe na ya kwanhwefo
yes
ena ochina so be ya Christopher
yes
na fiada no so ye
muslimi fo
nti sane nyame ahye ne fefe nti ochina wo atade fitaa hye wo de wo nko ba bia wo di ufufuo na hye fitaa wo asomu be ya wo be tia sempa nti kan akoma to yam ba bia aduru no ICQ na kan wo se den agbena ba nenso no enyam se ye figures any authority na ye adwuma wa abato mu nti no ye de ye ntimi nka nti kan akoma to yam anwumre ma wo yam nhihyew mesre enkotie station bia omo de omo ne ka omo nko no essence from day one and wo matwa ntra me wo ha ye wo isi na ma bi frɛ me Mr. Ten yes say na me say when I say we mu na kanam se ma me dey found to ya den ukotie ba bi on be mu anya BP hu
obeka na okọ
ka ya den enkotie tie movement TV wuntumi radio na hwe Northern Gold na hwe wuntumi TV Kumase na tie wuntumi radio Kumase ene wuntumi multimedia ya affiliate station ne ya channels ni nyina ya na egu ha ya kanzempa ya be hwe foreign missions for no aba ya wo ho no ma set up ama wo mu a sabre no ya shase baby a me hu ye wo electoral commission office ne ye bono region omo na nhihye mu no on se omo centers no 16 ti bono na ma hu so mu di kan na ada regions na na officers no ho nti ba ya na eniji se mu o mu say this is the first time collation room ho no electoral commission man central for kwan say yenso emra hobi the accreditation of the my na A2 your back where access to the National Collation Center ho na miminya access ametimi akọ ne wo ho nti figure bi ba na say NDC ni bi ka say the free electoral commission ban central ni wo ho nti wontimi ntwantro na yankobo ma mi Jane Mensa ene yewra Dr. Bosmasare Mosobo hunu ye nyina ye hobi nti so far no so good we MPP ni am wani nye anwumrei me mission kra me dia be transit enkotie station bia wo de tie ha na be to me ame boa ka se owura otentena akan na de ne nyama me nyankopon nti wo chena kwasi adai enche ne owura ochenam aka be se don hwere aduanu nkron
aka meet aduanu
minute aduanu nkron mo me da se ati afa so aka 29
the NDC organizer in the Ashanti region has discovered 500,000 ballot papers, which they claim are ballot papers that they have discovered being hidden by the MPP. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a complete falsehood. It's a complete lie. It's a falsehood. All we saw in that video is Joseph Yamin, the organizer of the NDC in the Ashanti region, holding his own phone, having a camera placed on him by his own people in a certain room with no resistance. No owner of the room, no owner of the house, not a single person they met in the room accustomed, standing and having a conversation, cheerfully telling somebody that I've discovered ballot papers. Our checks indicate that, first of all, the room they claim they discovered those ballot papers are not even at the location they indicated. Number two, these are actually ballot papers that Yamin himself took to the Ashanti region for whatever reason. Remember, they had already given some of these ballot papers to the youth organizer of the Atwima-Kwama constituency. The police had already issued a statement on that. We showed a video earlier on, and maybe before I conclude, I'll show that video, where the son of the constituency youth organizer of the Atwima-Kwama constituency was arrested by the Ghana police. For attempting to stuff a ballot box with 79 ballot papers. These ballot papers were part of the ballot papers that you saw Joseph Yamin standing by. What had actually happened was that Joseph Yamin realized that he had 30 minutes for elections to end, and he had not been successful to execute that task that had been given to him by his party. And so to save his face, he all of a sudden goes on video using a selfie and telling the whole country that he's found some ballot papers that belongs to the MPP. That's an outright lie. It's a complete falsehood, and it's something that everybody should disregard. We are calling on the Ghana Police Service to investigate to the latter that video that Joseph Yamin has put out, because they are an absolute threat to the stability of this country. They do not show us the number of the alleged ballot papers. We never see it. We only see some brown boxes or brown papers, in the corner. They do not tell us the exact quantity that they have, because you have the deputy spokesperson of the flag bearer of the opposition party indicating on her Facebook post that they have discovered some 300,000 ballot papers. Then Joseph Yamin says 500,000. Then another NDC person says 400,000. So it tells you the kind of people they are and what it is that they are doing. Again, we do not see any MPP official in the video. So think about this. Joseph Yamin, for some reason, has magic. Identifies a building that has ballot papers, goes into that house, and there is nobody in the house. Joseph Yamin walks into that house seamlessly. The Joseph Yamin we know has a suspicion that there is a ballot paper hidden in a house would start recording himself from the road before even getting to the gates, before walking into the room. Strangely, Joseph Yamin switches off his phone or his video, breaks into whichever house, opens whichever door, gets into a room, and then only begins to record himself inside a room. These guys really take the entire country completely as fools, because it doesn't just add up. The same Joseph Yamin gets into the room before inviting media. This Joseph Yamin we know, having picked intelligence that there is some ballot papers hidden somewhere by the MPP, will call the media, call police, and walk in there with them before he even puts a video on himself. He doesn't do any of these things. Again, we only see him in a corner with a video on himself. Now, you've discovered some 500,000 ballot papers in an MPP stronghold, and then the only evidence you show us is a selfie of yourself in a room having a conversation with somebody excitedly, telling the person that you've discovered some ballot papers, and then telling us that you are now calling police to come and do whatever it is that you're expecting them to do. We all know the reasons why the NDC are behaving this way. Everybody in this country knows that this is not the first time we are going through this. Unfortunately, as a people, we have to deal with being inflicted with this every single election period. The NDC are clearly losing these elections, and they know it. As we speak, the elections have already been counted at the polling stations. Every political party has copies of the pink sheets. They know it. They know very well they are losing these elections, and that is why they would call for havoc. We are winning these elections as a party. Dr. Bawumia is winning these elections, and that's why we are saying that let's protect it. If we are winning, why would we want the electoral processes to be disrupted when we are winning? And so, I'm sure a lot of you recall the story in the Bible. I think it's a Solomon story. The story of the two rival women, where they went to sleep, woke up in the morning, and one of the babies are dead. Now the king calls these two women fighting over the living child. And then he says, why are you fighting? He said, this is my child, this is my child. Then the king says, okay, no problem, bring me a sword. This is the living one. Cut the living child into two so that you can all have a half of it. Now, you remember, the woman who knew very well that the dead child is her said, yes, kill the baby. Kill the baby. Now, the woman who knew that this child is my child, and because he's my child, I don't want the baby dead, said that, my king, if you would please her, give her the child. All this woman sought to do was to make sure that her child does not die. But the other lady that knew that she was guilty, knew that she had already lost her child, was willing for both of them to lose their children. That's exactly what the NDC are doing. They know they've lost. They know they are nowhere near victory in these elections. And that is why they would irresponsibly call on their supporters to move towards the coalition centers to disrupt the coalition centers. Already, we have heard of incidences in some of the constituencies. We saw some on TV when some NDC persons were somewhere in Dansoman breaking through the coalition center and basically attacking security services. What is this? At the coalition centers, you have your agents. Why do you want to go and destroy ballot papers and disrupt the electoral process if indeed you are confident that you have won these elections? Why? Why would any political party that is willing and ready to lead this country, why would any political party that is very, very clear in his mind that he has won this election want to disrupt these electoral processes? We will not allow that. Just as we've told you from the get-go, throughout the process, we have blocked each of the ill intent of the NDC. Every strategy they brought into this election has failed. And we are going to continue to ensure that they fail at it. And this one is also going to fail. At this juncture, we are waking every single MPP supporter up. Wake up. Call your families, call your brothers, call your sisters. Go to the coalition centers, protect the EC, help the police protect our electoral system. Our democracy needs to be protected. And it will take the citizens to protect our democracy against this dangerous political party, the NDC. Go there, stand there, touch nobody, but make sure that nobody touches any electoral material. Make sure that nobody touches any security officer, and make sure that nobody touches any electoral officer. If anybody comes to the collation center and attempts to touch anybody at the collation center, you have our permission to touch that person because you are protecting democracy. That you have our blessing, and we stand by you for doing the right thing, because that will be a patriotic action. As it stands now, our call on you is to collaborate and cooperate with these officers, electoral officers and security officers, and ensure that we protect the ballot that the Ghanaian citizen has cast, stood in the sun, some of them being beaten by rain, and cast their vote. We are clearly wondering what it is that the NDC and their leader is seeking to achieve by these unnecessary and reckless comments that they are making. Not a single constituency as we speak has even lifted the hands of any parliamentary candidate in their constituency. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a process. As we speak, it is just 9:54. Every constituency you go to, they are tabulating their results. They are collating the pink sheets from the polling station. When they are done, that is when they will lift their hands of the parliamentary candidate that has won, and the electoral officer there will now declare that parliamentary candidate the winner. It is then and only then that any responsible political party would come on air and declare and indicate that they have won. We have our results. We know all the seats we've won already, but we are responsible. We are responsible. And we believe that to protect the sanctity of our electoral process and democracy, we should hold on to our numbers and our results until the Electoral Commission declares at the constituency level. Then we'll declare. Throughout the process, from now till tomorrow, any moment that the Electoral Commission lifts the hands of any parliamentary candidates, that is from the MPP, we'll call you and we'll declare to you. That is what responsible political parties do. This election is going to be won with intelligence and not muscles. No matter how strong you are, no matter how much muscles you are, trust us. We are beating you with intelligence. And we are going to do it like we've always done it in previous elections. And like I always say, just as it is in the DNA of the NDC, whilst we are thinking and processing and using the due process, they are pumping, like they say it, and they are lifting metals. And then by the time they realize, they have lost. And then their followers will rise up against them. And then for them to hide behind the shame, they will call on their followers on the street. For the NDC followers, if you get on the street and the security agencies get hold of you, remember, you will be on your own. They will not be there with you. As we speak, Charles, the gentleman who is the son of the youth organizer of the NDC at Atwima Kwama constituency, is in police custody all alone. All alone. None of the NDC leaders are there with him. He is there all alone. And be rest assured, the police have shown clearly and indicated that they are on top of issues. And so if you get out there and misbehave to disrupt the peace of this country, you are going to find yourself wanting, and you will be dealt with all alone. I leave all of us with 1 Kings 3:16. 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 16. When you read 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 16, and you understand that parable of the two women, you understand clearly what is happening with the NDC. It is nobody's fault that you are not seen as a credible alternative. Please, let us live in peace. Kindly, save us all the trouble. Kindly, let us all live in peace. You recall, in the year 2020, after the December elections, the NDC went on the street for weeks, destroyed properties, disrupted lives, spent months in court, only for them, 1 year down the line, the chairman of the NDC today, to go campaigning to their followers and tell them that